Well, this is John Black, Super Chemist. Hopefully we'll be done with this soon. Hopefully this is the last video on global warming. Um, let's see here. I showed those charts. Oh, here's another chart. I think this is the last chart, hopefully. But it shows all these peaks that are numbered. All those peaks, this is the last 10,000 years. Notice how all the peaks are higher than today, right? All the troughs are either equal to today, like this one, this one, this one, this one, or they're lower, like these ones, than today, right? All these peaks have names, like the Roman Empire, the Bronze Age, the Iron Age, the Minoan heating period. They all have great civilizations came up when it was hotter than today, okay? And what happens when it's as cool as today or colder? That's when you got the medieval Dark Ages. You have the Greek Dark Ages. You have the, the Crusades. All the horrible things that happened in our history. That's when it happened, during these troughs. These troughs is where is where everything went to crap. And why you think everything will go crap today? Because we're at the same. We're at a trough right now, man. We're at a low point, man. But we have electric, and so we can heat ourselves, and we have fertilizers and combustion engines that work on farms so we have the food. It's not as bad as it was. If we didn't have energy like that, we would be in the Dark Ages right now. Okay, this is Dark Age temperatures. All right, okay. We needed to be higher if we wanted to be in these great civilizations and with bountiful food and all that. You know what I mean? Our history books prove it. We have not just even storybooks, textbooks, all kinds of books saying how they made, like here they'll have, England was growing orange trees. You can't grow orange trees in England unless it was warmer than it was today, okay? And lots of stuff like that. I think I'm getting out at the end here. All I have left is to show why. Okay, yes, I am done, thank God. Let's see what this next one was. Oh, yeah, I got that too to do. Okay, but anyways, why am I doing this about the green stuff so much? Why do I have such a hard on about the green stuff? Okay, number one, okay, I'm going to put a link in this description below the video. If you're on like Rumble or whatever, you'll have to cut and paste it. But otherwise, you can just click on it and go to the YouTube video I'm going to send you to. And it's about the Green Deal. Okay, because they're spending trillions of dollars right now. They have pipelines going through 15 states where they're transporting this CO2. They're collecting it up from factories so that they can react it with something like an acid or a base and make it into a solid. That way they remove the CO2 out of the air, right? And it's killing people. It's killing people, these pipes. And you don't even need them. We need CO2 in the air, okay? And they'll say that, in the next 50 years, we're going to create another 100 parts per million, because we already, in the last 150 years, we went up 100 parts per million. They're saying now that it's only going to take 50. That's what they're saying. They're going to say it's only going to take 50 years now, because we're actually in the industrial age. The growing isn't going to be as much as it has been in the past. You know what I mean? Because we were double, tripling, 10 times. You know what I mean? Now we're at that point where we're going to increase, but we're not going to increase at some crazy level. Okay. So in the next 50 years, they're saying we're going to make as much as we made in the last 150 years, which is 100 parts per million. So we were at 300 parts per million on average. Now we're at 400, and they're saying in 50 more years, it'll be 500. But that's, okay, even at that rate, let's say that we go by their rate, because I can believe their rate. I'm not going to dispute it, okay? That's 50 parts per million per 100. No, wait. That's 100 parts per million in 50 years. So that's 200 parts per million in 100 years. It's 2 parts per million per year. 2 parts per million per year. Okay, is what they're saying. Okay, according to the crazy climate's data, what Al Gore is saying is we are making in the next 50 years we're going to make 2 parts per million. We're going to raise up the CO2 levels in the air by 2 parts per million every year. Okay, you can go up to 1%, which is 10,000 parts per million. We already proved it. We went to Google. We did all 1%, and be just great and fine and dandy. If you go above that, maybe the weakest of the weak might get headaches once in a while, and then if you keep going higher and higher and higher, 4 or 5%, you're going to be, people aren't going to have long lives, that's for sure. 10%, you'll die instantly. Okay, but 1%, that's no big deal, actually. At that point, yes, I'd be like, hey, we need to stop making CO2, man. Come on now. You know what I mean? But that's 10,000 parts per million. We're at 400 right now. Okay? Do you know that even at their rate that they're saying, which I believe, 2 parts per million every year, it would take 5,000 years to get up to 1%, which is where you'd be like, hey, man, we don't want 1% or higher. 5,000 years? You do understand that in the last 100 years, we went from nobody having electric and nobody having plumbing or TV or nothing, you know what I mean? No satellites, no nothing. All the way today, only 100, 150 years later, we got electric, plumbing, computers, robots, AI. We did all that in 100 years, but in the next 5,000 years, we're never going to have anything that's going to, stop us from burning stuff. Are you serious? 100 years we did all that, but in 5,000 years, we'll just never ever figure out. First of all, we already figured it out. It's called, what do you call it? Nuclear power, the most safest energy there is. Like 10 people die a year on average from nuclear power plants, where millions die every year from burning coal and stuff like that. But whatever. So that makes no sense. Like, who cares if we, it sounds like a lot. First of all, we need 1,200 parts per million. We're only at 400. So to get another, what is that, 800 parts per million, that'd be 400 years. It'll take 400 years, even with their rate that they're saying, which I agree with. They're saying that 400 years before it even gets up to where we want it to be at. Because we want it to be at 1,200, really. We want it to be at about 1,600 to 2,000. But plants want it to be at least 1,200 parts per million. And it'll take 400 years to get there, according to the crazy climates. And we're supposed to worry about 400 years. In the last 100 years, look at what we did. But in the next 400, we'll never figure it out because we're idiots. But anyways, why am I? Because they're spending this is why I have a hard on about it. They're spending trillions, and every aspect of society is going to be regulated, okay? Because it's racist. It's like a global religion, okay? It's like the trans religion, you know what I mean? The gender religion or whatever, They're the same religion, okay? They worship at the same altar to the same God, okay? The climate crazies and the transgender people, they're the same people, okay? It's the same religion, okay? And they will get into every part of your world, everything. They're already saying that, like, climate is racist. Come on, man. What are you, retarded or something? You gotta be a freaking moron. The second reason, the first reason, like I said, was because they're going to spend, not only they're going to spend trillions, it's just basically a money transfer from the poor to the rich. All their businesses are going to be making these pipelines and all this stuff to get rid of CO2, when we don't even need to get rid of CO2, we need to make it. And, man, don't put CO2 in air. Let me see. Okay, so the second reason why I am bringing it up is because to show how much power, not just how much power these elites have, but how much power the propaganda machine has. Literally every politician, RFK, who supposedly investigates everything, and I know he does. So that's why I don't like RFK, because he knows the truth. It took me like an hour to Google the stuff that I'm talking about that I have up here. It didn't take me years, okay? It literally took me an hour or two, okay, to figure out the truth. It took me 2 hours to, or whatever, 3 hours of videos, 15-minute videos, to explain it all. But, yeah, it didn't take long to figure it out. So I know RFK knows the truth. All these activists, the news, all the politicians, except for Ramaswamy and now Trump. I think Trump had an idea, but I think Ramaswamy set him straight. And now, what's the other guy, Elon? He's going to know. So, you need to understand their power. Like, this is power. How do you have an entire planet believed in this global warming hoax when it's so easy to disprove? Like hurricanes. You can easily just Google, hey, give me a graph of the freaking hurricanes, and you'll see we're actually doing good. What's funny is all the graphs are the same. They just go up and down, up and down, up and down, basically on a horizontal line. It fluctuates up and down within the same range. Floods are literally at a record low right now. It's a record low in our whole recorded history of floods. We are the best. And all of them. All you have to do is Google food. We are at the best. We're actually making like 40% more food now than we did before we started making CO2, because we dumped the CO2 in, and plants love CO2. So you need to understand how they lie, how much they, like, this is the biggest lie. Like, it's a total lie, and it's not like they're making a mistake. You can't make a mistake when you look at a graph, at these graphs I'm showing you, and they'll say, oh, there is greenhouse gas effects, and they'll give you a bunch of science. No one's debating that. No one debates that greenhouse gases effects are there. No one's debating that. We're just saying you can't just throw one molecule into the atmosphere and it becomes a green gas. It blows your planet away. No, you need to have at least 10% of the air be that greenhouse gas to get to the greenhouse gas effects. Or you need like pressure. Like, Venus has like 90 atmospheres. So yeah, carbon dioxide on Venus, it's a greenhouse gas. It has greenhouse gas effects. It has 90 atmospheres. Of course it does. Here we only have 1 atmosphere. You gotta have at least 10%. You gotta have a lot of CO2 before it starts giving you a greenhouse gas. That's the argument, but they don't ever make that argument. You never see a counter argument to that, do you? You always see a counter argument. Yes, CO2 is a greenhouse gas. I have proof right here. No one's disputing that, you idiot moron. We know it's a greenhouse gas effect. We're just saying you can't throw one molecule in and it has effects, okay? That's all. So, another reason I want you to, I'm bringing it up, is because I want you to see how they got you, okay, or the public, right, to kill code-making witches. During the last little ice age or whatever, coming out of it, in the 1600s or whenever it was, 1400s, I don't know. They were killing witches left and right. The government was telling you to kill witches. The Pope or whoever, the religious people were telling you kill the witches. You got to kill the cold-making witches. But we know that was a lie, right? I mean, hopefully everyone watching this knows that was a lie. There were no cold-making witches. That was just fear. Fear-mongering is what it was. It was fear-mongering. Okay, Ran out of time again here. Jeez. Oop.